Hey there, I'm Trent Ford. Welcome back to Trentopedia. Today we're looking again at Wise RPG Course and Creators Kit, and this is going to be on item reuse for different systems, and I'm going to be featuring Kabouter Games, Vaults of Tenabrus. Today I want to talk about working with multiple systems. If you've already created items before, then why not adjust them for your future or new systems? It's easier to work from something that you already have than it is to work from scratch. To illustrate this, I'm going to be using what you see here. I know him by Bob, but his pen name's RP Davis. He runs Kabouter Games as a Pico publisher in the tabletop gaming industry. You may have seen some of his stuff before. He's written RPG content for Wizards of the Coast, Onyx Path, Kobold Press, and some others in the past. I have some samples, and they come from his Kickstarter that he's running right now. And one version is 5e, one is for Shadowdark. So his current project is Vaults of Tenabrus, and it's about magic items. And so this is a great example for wanting to show you how you can take items, and if you wrote it for one system, then you can just adjust it for another. First, we'll look at the Cloak of the Hidden Grove. As you can see here, I have the 5e version and the Shadowdark version, and I both have them living in the same markdown file. As you can see, both of these items come from these two PDFs. So we have this one, the Cloak of the Hidden Grove. This is the 5e version. And then, just to show you, this is the Shadowdark version. So we'll go back to the note, which is what I'll call markdown files for simplicity's sake. You can see here I have some front matter that I haven't linked to what system that this item can be used in, and I've been experimenting with different properties that you can use, and I'll have some different options for that. And this allows you to go back to the note for the project, file, whatever it is. It could be the file, it could be a project, it could be just something you found on the internet. So we'll go back over. And these links, they just help us dynamically organize and organically find things in addition to the regular file search and the file format that you would have in any computer system. Now, my recommendation is if you have multiple versions of the same item, that you keep it in the same note, and it just helps for linking and for finding it when you want it. If you have 3 different notes for Cloak of the Hidden Grove and they're all for different systems, then which one do you use? And it keeps it cleaner when you link the name. You can just say Cloak of the Hidden Grove, then you can just click the version you want. I have tried splitting it up, and I have found this is a best practice for me, but for you, maybe you want to try it and see how it works out. Now we'll do a little analysis as if we had wrote this ourselves. Right here you can see woven from leaves of an ancient tree, and you could read all that. And then if we go down here, we see woven from the leaves of an ancient tree that stands, and we notice both of these have the same lore. So if we were writing this ourselves, what we could do is, I'm just making a header. This is a level 2 header, and I'll make this be lore/description. And then I can just take this text and put it up here. And now I can take this out. And that just cuts out a lot of any repeats we might have. If you like that, you could do it like this. And then, let's say you wanted to write another version for it in the future. You would just do that down here, and you would be some other system. Because now you have an item, you have the description and flavor, and then you just need the mechanics. So if we look at the mechanics, we can see that they've been adjusted for the specific rules, and that's what you would have to do for your system. 5e, more rule explicit, Shadowdark, kind of aimed to be leaner. You can see this even more if we look at the wand of the Moonlit Court, and we can pull this out like this, like we did on the other one. I'll grab this, carve from the branch, and then we can take out the lore of this item, and then you can see here that's a more clear example of stripped down rules in Shadowdark for how you want your items and things to function. So, and if we look at the spells on this wand, you can actually see we have a similar kind of list of spells in both versions. So that tells you you're wanting to keep the same kind of flavor for the item. You just have to adjust it for the mechanics of the system. So we have an item name. That's going to be Wand of the Moonlit Court. We have the item description, flavor, lore, whatever you want to call it. Some systems you'll need to have a rarity in a type, like we do in 5e, and then you'll need the system mechanics for the specific item, and you can see that here. Some systems might be trickier to convert to, but if you can explain to yourself the feel of the system, then that can help you to figure out how you can make your mechanics convert over better. And as I mentioned before, I would call D&D a 5e rules explicit system. You have to describe what should happen in regards to its restrictions and its allowances for the magic item. For Shadowdark, I'd call it a leaner system. It has some of the mechanics of 5e, but it tries to cut what it thinks are complications. And an item, that means they need to be more straightforward to use. That wraps up the demo for today. If these items seem interesting to you, check out Vaults of Tenabrus. And if this writing environment or my lesson seems interesting to you, check out Wise RPG. I'll have the links in the description. Thanks for watching.